Hey guys, it's Roy from English Right Now. Hello. Okay, today we have a video called 5 Top Tips to Improve Your Listening when you are listening to real situations. Why am I making a video about this? And it's simply because so many times I hear this question, how can I improve? How can I get better? And it's so easy. So make sure you watch this video. And this video is for that student who has said, at some point, I just can't understand when natives speak. Is that you? Have you done this? I think we all have. And why am I qualified to teach you this? Okay, first of all, I am an English teacher. But more importantly than that, I'm learning a second language. Okay, I'm a British native, but I live in Brazil, in a sunny little city called Belo Horizonte. And here I have to speak Portuguese. And it's not been easy, and I have lots of difficulties, but I taught myself these top tips to help me to really engage and really improve my listening. And you know what? It worked. So if this is you, if you're like me and you really want to learn a language and you really want to learn English or really any language, then watch the whole of this video. So let's get going. And the first one is really obvious. It's let go. Let it go. Like in Frozen, let it go. Okay, what do I mean by let go? Let go. It means relax. Relax. Calm down. Enjoy yourself. If you're listening to something real, and I'm not talking about these, we have these textbooks in the classroom, and you have a series of questions like, oh, listen to Mrs. Moggins talk about her cat. Why is it always Mrs. Moggins and her cat? I don't know. And it says things like, how many cats does Mrs. Moggins have? And at beginner level, it says things like, oh, I love my cats, so I've got 3 cats. The answer is 3. Or at more advanced level, they say things like, oh, I used to have 4 cats, but then one passed away, and now I only have, well, 3 cats. Okay? So these aren't really real. These are designed to improve your ability to read the situation and to select information. When I talk about real listenings, I talk about things like TED Talks. I talk about conversations, television, even television in some ways, like documentary. It's real listening. And when you have 2 natives, it doesn't matter if they're British or they're American, and they're talking, sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. The common thing is they speak too quickly. Okay, so relax. When you listen in your native language, you relax. You don't get panicked. You don't try to listen for every single piece of information. You just kind of enjoy the moment, right? You listen or you don't. Sometimes the conversation is boring, so you do this. And other times you really are engaged. You're really trying to understand, okay? And when we're listening to our second language, you have to bring that kind of relaxation, that enjoyment, that just normality of the situation. Don't see it as something stressful. Oh my goodness, I have to understand everything. You don't. You don't have to understand everything. Not every word in a conversation is important. I'm sorry to tell you that. You need to understand the gist. The gist is the main meaning. This is a really, really common and really easy thing to say. And I think in general, I always say, enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. And you should. You should enjoy every situation in learning and in life and in every way you possibly can. Okay, second one. If you are listening to something like a TED Talk or a YouTube video or a documentary, check out the titles. The title, the wordings. Now, why is this important? Because you need to have an idea of what you're going to listen to. And this is also brings me on to my third point as well. But nobody goes into a conversation or a situation with listening without having an idea of what's happening. And if there are words or titles that you can read, check them out. Watch them, okay? Read them. Make sure you understand. And the best thing I can give you is when you read the news, like a newspaper. Nobody reads a newspaper anymore, right? But when we read things like on the BBC, and if you are learning English, download the BBC. There's some great articles. The first thing that you do is read the title. If it's something interesting, like for example, I love video games. And if it says something like video game reaches new heights, I'm going to be like, oh, interesting. I want to read this, okay? If it's something about something that I don't really find interesting, I'm gonna skip. Ooh, video games. So we choose the things that we want to listen to. Of course, sometimes we can't avoid these conversations. If you're having a conversation with your native, then you need to kind of move on to point 3, which is visual clues. So quite often there is a kind of, not only a title in a video, there's a visual clue. So if you see somebody making a speech, you know it's going to be something formal. If it's a documentary about football, there's going to be something about football and some title. So it's about reading the situation in both words and images. So I love dogs. I love dogs and video games. That's my life. Judge me. So if I watch a video on YouTube and it's got a picture of a dog, I'm going to watch it. You know, if it says something like a new breed of dog discovered in Brazil, how to train your dog, I'm going to watch it. If it's like dogs in video games, like Far Cry 5 with a dog, Far Cry 5 had a dog. It's the best thing in the world. Not the best game, not for me, but like I loved it and I'm really enjoying it. I'm still playing it now. And it's got a dog in it. And it's a video game. It's like a perfect combination. And on the front, it's got a dog. So it's got a picture of a dog. What more can I say? Okay, so the titles and the visual clues lead on to the most obvious point, which is predict. Predict. Read the situation. I've told you this, like, this is tip number 4, if you like. Read the situation. Okay, what do I mean by this? If you're watching this video, you probably already realized it's an English language video. It's teaching English. 5 top tips to improve your English listening. Okay, it's about listening and things like this. So you already predicted what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about listening, things you hear, like I can hear a motorbike. Why is there always a motorbike in my videos? Write down in the comments below. I don't know. Maybe it's sabotage. Maybe it is. But predict the conversation. So if it's a documentary, you can predict the things that you're going to hear. Maybe you need to research some of the vocabulary beforehand. That's not a problem. You should understand, you should have an idea of the things that you're going to listen to by looking at the clues, by looking at the different things. This is the kind of things we do as natives. We do this. When I see a video on YouTube, I look at the picture, I look at the title, and I think, yeah, okay, this is something I'm going to listen to, or something I'm going to watch. If it's a TED Talk about, I don't know, English teaching, I'm going to watch it. It's interesting for me. Actually, there's a lot of TED Talks. Download TED on your phone. Watch it. Watch the TED videos. They're like educational YouTube videos is the best way I could... That's a horrible thing to say, right? People are going to kill me for that one. Yeah. But they're amazing, okay? And if you're watching something about cooking, then you're going to have an idea what they're cooking. You know, if it's lasagna, it's going to be lasagna. You're going to hear words like ragu, maybe, and tomato sauce, and things like this. So we always predict. Now, this is obvious. Okay, now, if you go to a certain situation, like, for example, you're picking your kids up from school, and the teacher, like, we have in England, we have a lot of non-native parents whose children are native because they were born in England. So say if your mum is from, I don't know, Japan, and your dad is from Brazil, and your mum and your dad go to school to pick you up, and you're born in England, which makes you English, it makes you an English native, and the teacher is an English native, and the teacher wants to speak to the parents. A lot of parents panic, oh my goodness, I don't know if I understand everything, you know. Oh, they speak so quickly. No, we don't. We just link our speech. If you want more about pronunciation, I do videos on the schwa, I do videos on... There's lots of videos on my channel. But if a teacher comes to talk to you, they're probably going to talk to you about your kid, right? It's predict that this conversation will be about my child. It's not going to be about the football. Your teacher's not going to come over and go, oh, did you see the football last night? It's great, wasn't it? No, that kind of thing doesn't happen, okay? Maybe, like, this video, it's about listening. I'm not going to suddenly start talking about food techniques and blenders, I don't know, or paintings on the wall. Now I'm talking about paintings on the wall. You see the Baroque art style of that. I don't know. I'm not an artist. But I'm not going to suddenly talk to you about art when I'm teaching you about listening. So it's all about this. And the final point that I can get across to you, ask questions. It's not a problem to ever ask questions. If you don't understand something, clarify. We would sooner that you understand, and this goes for any language in the world. This is a human thing. We want you to understand what we're saying. It doesn't matter if it's in Japanese, Portuguese, or an alien from another planet. Hopefully they don't want to kill us. They're coming, they're coming! But they want you to understand, even if it's we come in peace or we come to kill, they want you to understand. So if you need to ask questions, there's no problem. It's better to ask questions and be wrong and get it right than it is to just be wrong and just not talk. Okay. You're pretending you understand everything. That works in conversations. It works in a live listening. But maybe in a video or a TED Talk or something like that, something real, you could say to somebody who's watching it with you, oh, did you understand that? I'm sorry, I didn't. Did you understand that? Now, sometimes they may be faking too and they don't know, and other times they can help you. And don't just think, oh, my listening's terrible, their listening's better than mine, blah, blah, blah. This is common. We're all in the same position. We're all in the same boat. Sometimes I need to ask questions when I'm listening to another English speaker. Maybe they don't speak clearly. Maybe they mumble. And I'm like, what? Sorry? Sorry, could you say that again? Or the phone cuts out. Don't just panic and say, oh, okay, I don't understand. This is not how life is. So make sure you always ask those questions. I really hope this video helped. It's kind of a video that's designed to improve your listening. I hope you used my voice to improve your listening. And I hope you feel good about it. And I hope you take these top tips like I did when I went into Portuguese. If I'm in a bar and there's a guy with a beer in a hand, he's not going to be talking about like, oh, did you see the weather yesterday? It's going to be like, do you want a beer? I'll be like, yeah. No, of course not. On that note, guys, I hope this video really helped. And feel free to check out a couple of other videos here. I do a lot on my channel, not just about skills, but also about general grammar techniques and things like that. So lots of love to you. I hope this video helped because I feel these tips helped me when I was learning Portuguese, and I still am learning Portuguese. On that note, guys, it's been lovely to see you. Ciao.